Okay,
Hands up.
hands up.
Call this meeting to order.
Oh,
Time to vote a moderator.
You have to talk really loud.
Use your outside voice.
She's fine. Select board has to vote.
The
a
select board
moderator.
has to elect a moderator.
I nominate Paul Spencer.
You have a pink piece of paper.
If we can't, we just vote. I mean, do a nomination and a vote.
Technically, it has to be a written vote,
It does.
and then I have to count them.
I'll second that.
She's a stickler.
I've done, that's good. I like it.
During discussion, all in favor? All opposed? All right, go ahead and write your recommendation down.
Select board has elected Paul Stelzer.
Good evening. We're going to begin this evening with warrant article number 2. Warrant article number 2 says, shall the town raise and appropriate up to $300,000 to fund the following capital reserve account? Ambulance replacement. To have a motion.
I'll move warrant article 2 as read.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any discussion or questions on warrant article 2? Hearing none. All of those in favor, please signify by raising the orange cards. Thank you. Those opposed? Thank you. Warrant article 2 passes. Warrant article 3. Shall the town expend up to $300,000 from the ambulance capital reserve fund to purchase a new ambulance?
I move as read.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Our warrant article number 3. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of warrant article 3, please signify by raising your orange cards. Thank you. Those opposed by the same sign. Thank you. Warrant article 3 passes. Warrant article 4. Shall the town vote to borrow up to $150,000 for up to 5 years to fund the purchase of the new ambulance?
I'll make that motion.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of warrant article 4, please signify by raising your orange cards. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5. Shall the town vote to fix the 15th day of November 2022 and the 15th day of May 2023, when all 2023 taxes shall be due and payable in semi-annual installments, and to instruct the tax collector to charge interest at 4% per annum on all taxes unpaid after said dates?
I'll move Article 5.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by raising your cards. Thank you. Those opposed? Article 5 passes. Article 6. Shall the town vote to pay interest at 0% per annum on any amount overpaid on property taxes as noted in MRSA Title 36, subsection 506A?
I'll move Article 6.
Move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of Article 6, please signify by raising your cards. Thank you. Those opposed? Thank you. Article 6 passes. Now entertain a motion to adjourn the special town meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Good job, moderator Paul.
Why's everybody leaving?
I know.
Now we do the fun stuff.
Everybody wants to leave. I'll see you tomorrow night, Paul, at your meeting.
That's all I come for.
Nobody loves us. It's very sad. It's my birthday. They all left.
Oh, we forgot to tell them. They didn't, if they'd known, they
Okay.
would have stayed.
They can see the cake on their faces. All right, let's call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. 6:09 PM. Let's call for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You notice I moved the flag. It needs to be on the right side of whoever's conducting the meeting. So I'm a little picky on the flag thing, so I moved it.
Good. We can do that. We can make that happen.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Took charge.
Okay, presentation, Spirit of America Award.
I had made some suggestions the last time, and we would need to publicly announce who those people were.
Okay.
And I thought that
I would nominate, it's okay, I would like to nominate Ted and Betsy Worcester.
I'd second that nomination.
Is there any discussion?
I would just like to say that I can't think of two people who truly, they really did have the love of the borough, of Waldeboro in their hearts and the good of the town in their hearts. And Ted was always great for a phone call to give you thoughts and ideas. And Betsy was so involved with the community and helping those less fortunate. And I think there's a lot of things that they did that people didn't even realize that they contributed to the community. And they were just two very special people. And I will let I'm assuming the motion's going to pass, but I will let the family know. And there will be a ceremony at the county courthouse. And I'll let you all know when that is.
Great.
Okay, all in favor of the Spirit of America Award going to Ted and Betsy Wooster, raise your right hand. All opposed? Same sign, any? Motion carried. Okay, next for public hearings. We have 4.1, Enterprises, the Narrows Tavern. Is there a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
There's a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Comments?
I just think this is a pro forma thing. We do it every year. The Narrows Tavern is an asset to the downtown. I believe they have a totally clean record with the police department. I don't think there's ever been any incidents reported. And I just think this is a no-brainer for us to approve. And move forward.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, I'll take a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to close? Raise your right hand. All opposed? Same sign. Motion carried. Okay, 4.2.
Don't forget to act.
Sorry, do we want to act on that, Mr. Chairman?
Oh. Oh, no, it's on there. Okay. All right, motion to act.
I move approval of the application for an online premises license for K Enterprises, Inc.
Is there
Second.
second? Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, now we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, 4.2. DBG housing assistance. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Can I give my quick summary of it as usual?
Please.
So this is just a reminder for those who are not aware of it. We did get the $500,000 for housing assistance for Volunteers of America to demolish and remediate the 80 Gray property so that they can create some affordable senior housing units. This is just one of the steps we have to do in phase 2, just to confirm that we do accept it and we will go forward with that project. I was actually told by Tammy Knight, who's going to be our project manager for this one from the state, that a lot of the documents we don't actually have to re-sign because we did the one with Odd Alewives last year. So we can still do the formal vote of just saying, yes, we'll accept it and then move forward with it. And if anything changes, then especially when we get like actual designs, then I may come back to the select board for another public hearing. But this is just so we can go forward with phase 2 documents, maybe an environmental review with Stan, and that's about it.
Is there any other discussion? Any other comments?
Just a question. I mean, at some point, we're going to see an agreement with them. Not that this depends on that at the moment. This is just a formality to accept the money. But do we have any kind of timetable about when we might, or do they have a timetable about when they might want to sit down with us to talk about
So I think that'll be the beginning of September.
September? Okay,
There was a key member has had some health issues.
right.
So I think it'll be the beginning of September. And I am anticipating getting a agreement from them that we can at least begin looking at.
Thank you.
So for those who didn't hear where the money is coming from, it's coming from the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development through their Community Development Block Grant Program. That's through the U.S. Housing and Urban Development Fund. And this money is just for the demolition, but one of the conditions is that Volunteers of America will have to show evidence that they can financially complete the whole project. And so,
Okay, any other discussion, comments? All right, may I have a motion to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Jinx.
yeah, I beat you to that one.
You owe me
All in
time.
favor of closing? Raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion passed. Motion to ask, excuse me, on this. Motion.
Yeah, I mean, we accept the CDBG housing assistance that Max has discussed with us tonight.
Second. Second. Is there any discussion?
Just one last point I'll throw in there, like what we did with Odd Alewives last year. I would like to have the little ad hoc group that will handle the monitoring of the funds. And it was last year, it was me, Julie, Peg, and then we did have both Jan's and no, we had you, Colonel, and Bob doing it. So one or two select board members as volunteer would be appreciated.
Okay, so go ahead and take care of that now.
Well, no, we can decide that later if we want
Later,
to.
all right.
I'm just saying that will happen later.
Any other comments? All right. Been moved and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Okay. 5, adjustments to the agenda. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, there's no change on the adjustments to the agenda. We'll go to citizen comments. Do we have any citizen?
I have one from Ruben. Are people gonna sing happy birthday to you?
We offered earlier, but
We
she
don't need to.
respectfully declined.
It's not a good birthday. I mean, it's a good birthday. I had the best birthday present. I got a brand new granddaughter named Hannah, but I don't like the age associated with birthday.
Let me just say, I think Hannah Gray is such a cool name.
Hannah Gray,
And it's
yes.
a great name.
It's actually, it was, her name is after my grandmother and my son-in-law's father who passed away. So it's a very meaningful name. A great name for my grandmother was an amazing woman. And I am sure that little Hannah will live up to her name.
Okay. Any other citizen comments? Hearing none. Select board comments. Bob?
I've got a few. Sorry about this. The Oktoberfest committee has asked me to request the Waldeboro Recreation Complex as a possible backup for Cider Hill on October 1st with a rain day of October 2nd, just in case Cider Hill becomes unavailable. And I'm putting that out there. If there's a consensus that that's okay, that'd be great. Do we do anything this year about the property tax freeze? Are we gonna put any information about that in our tax bill going out this year? I read an article
I believe it's there every year.
it just became active in this year, is my understanding.
I think
It's
it's
passed some time ago.
but I think it's I
Okay, I just
think it might
wanted-
be automatic, but I will check on that.
Thank you. Someone has asked me where the ladder is for the float at the town landing. This person loves to go swimming in the river at the town landing, and they're a little bit afraid to do it because there's no float, no ladder on the float, so they could climb out of the water easily.
was.
Apparently there
Yeah, I
was.
think so. So I think I've had that call before.
I'm sure you have.
Well, on the old float or the new float?
I can't answer that. I mean, it was there last year or the year before.
a couple of years.
And they did say that the
been-
float
it's been
seems
on
to
a
have
couple
had
years.
a ladder on it. the
Yeah.
one we have now
The
seemed to have a ladder on it
the
before.
old one did. I don't think the new one ever did.
Okay. Do we have enough money in the budget to put up? I'm concerned that people go in and not be able to climb out easily, especially if they're old like me. I mean, you're just pulling yourself up onto the float, to get out of the water.
Yeah, I think I can ask. I can have Public Works look at that.
Okay, thank you.
I can always walk up the ramp.
I'm not gonna go there.
No, the boat ramp, the launch.
No, I know she's
Yeah.
talking about the launch, yeah. It's, if you're barefoot, it's a little
True.
tricky.
Yeah, I don't think it's had a ladder.
Ladder
for-
your toes, what's wrong with that?
I'm not complaining.
I don't think for the last 2 summers it's had one, but
Okay.
I will ask John.
You're gonna talk about, Janet, you're gonna talk about the new bakery?
I don't know much about it. I would ask questions. Go ahead.
Well, I just know the
Did you
name,
go to
First
the,
Bakery. I haven't been in it yet, but I'm
they had a
excited.
soft opening Sunday
They've
when I
opened.
was gone,
Yeah, okay.
but they're not open. They weren't open today.
And I hear they do bagels and other good stuff, and they serve, or they're gonna serve breakfast and lunch.
They-
I-
They're very pleasant. I did this the other day,
Bakery.
and they came to the door.
Okay,
chatted, and they were very pleasant.
that's cool. And I was at the transfer station on last Thursday, and I noticed that we now have bins labeled newspapers, magazines, and mixed paper. Everything goes into one bin.
It does.
Okay, that's a change, isn't
It
it?
is.
All right.
It's when they can count it.
And old books get tossed in the hopper. At least that's what the sign
Hardcover,
says.
yes.
But my hope is that before people toss the books in the hopper, they'll put them by the village bookstore to see if they might be accepted and sold to support that effort. Okay, and then the last thing I have to say, and I hope Ruben is listening, because Ruben brought this up. Fidium Fiber, which is a brand for Consolidated Communications, is polling the town, kind of asking people to respond and actually to sign up for fiber optic service. I went in and I did it. Of course, they came back and said it's not available where I live, but it might be available in certain parts of town. And I think it's worth going to fidiumfiber.com just to sign up and see what they have available for you. It's so much better than what we've got now, where we don't have fiber optic. Just, there's no comparison. Anyway, I've said my say. Thank you.
Well, I went to the transfer station today, and I noticed there's an art section over there as you're leaving the hopper on the left-hand side. And it just is really fun. It made me smile. So it's always nice. And the people at the transfer station are always so friendly, I find. And I did my transaction to buy two new buckets. And I told them I had 5 buckets to turn in. I thought I had 4. But it's a nice program. I like the compost program. It's very nice. And then I got out of my truck and I'm putting stuff in the bins, and over comes what's his name?
Mark,
No.
Eli,
Eli came over with my buckets, hand delivered them. And I thought how nice that was. It was as always, a nice experience, but to see all that funny stuff up there as I was leaving made me smile.
did you
Glad I
notice
was
their new
there.
attire?
Hmm?
Did you notice their new attire?
Oh,
They're matching now.
Bright green or yellow.
I didn't. I did notice the Red
They're-
Sox new attire last night, but I
Well,
didn't
they are
notice
all
the-
in yellow now,
Oh,
highlight yellow, so that everybody knows they can see them, they're
who
visible.
the helpers are.
Yes,
Yeah.
who the staff is. Yep.
Nice.
Well,
Corey Hill Blueberry Fields are open. There's been a good turnout so far of people up there picking them. But there's still a lot up there, so I encourage people to go up there and get them. They're hand-picked only. And if you want more information, you can check out the Waldeboro Conservation Commission's Facebook page. That's all I got.
is there a scheduling for that to be burned and stuff like that?
We started that this spring. We burned one side, and then
Okay.
we're hoping to do another section next year.
Awesome. Okay, Julie, town managers report.
So, the big news since we last met was that we officially closed on the Friendship Street School. And as most people know, we received 5 offers originally. And they ranged from 249,000 up to 351,000. The select board chose the highest bid at 351,000 and entered into a purchase sale agreement. As typical with any sale, we had the seller or the buyer had a inspection period. By the time their inspection revealed a couple of things that we were not aware of. And the ending sale price was $326,000. I'd like to say, and I think that select board would agree, we could not have asked for 5. I mean, everyone who put in a bid for the property had a wonderful vision. I think that everybody who put it in had great affection for our community, and it was a a good experience, I think, for the community as a whole. The new owners are around town. Very excited to be here. The town of Waldoboro, it was great because the new owner came in on the day he closed and was in the office and got to meet all the staff, the police chief, the EMS chief. So I think it's going to be great. Has some wonderful ideas for our 250th birthday, of some technology that we can be utilizing, and just inundated him with a ton of phone numbers. And it's been great. I know some of you stopped by. Will, I mean, you met him before anybody, but I know that, you know, a lot of you have stopped by. And just a quick story about the amazing town of Waldoboro. So they were at the house at the school on Friday, this past Friday, a week after, you know, a week or so after they bought it. And one of our police officers when they got on duty, always does their checks. You know, we check a lot of places out in Waldoboro. And he saw an unfamiliar car there. So of course he knocked on the door and he's like, you know, what are you doing here? Well, I bought the school, but it was it just shows that our police are out there, they're looking, they're engaged, they do their property checks. But I got a phone call Friday night. So did we sell the school and what is the owner's name, just to confirm? So it was great that, you know, they're taking such a good community policing, and I think it gave them a feeling of, oh, good. So, you know, people are checking, and it's a small town. So it was one of those highlights. The other thing I wanted to chat with you about tonight is we had our tax acquired property sale, and there was one building on that is inhabited. So we would have to, again, post it for sale, noting that there is a inhabitant in the building. So we could do that and put it out again for sale. And that would require notice in the paper and things like that. All the notices in the past have been given. They've just been totally ignored. But that would be the next course of action that we could do.
If we do that, and the person who's living there is there when we sell it again,
The buyer then would know that, and they assume that responsibility.
okay, because we didn't know it at the time
No,
we
no.
sold it.
And I don't think that is all, so again, we have to disclose it if we know it.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, I would like a motion if you can. The only other option we had would be to do eviction proceedings. And that's just not something that I think is appropriate for us to do. Again, it's much easier if somebody else would like to purchase it and make an arrangement with that person to continue to domicile there, that's fine. But we can sell it with people in it. A person in it, we just have to disclose that.
What's the address, Julie, of that property?
I don't recall off the top
I
of
was
my
just
head.
thinking of making a motion and being able to mention it specifically in the motion, that's all.
Remember the address, Pam? It's Old Augusta Road.
Okay, well, and if I just say in the motion that it's the property that we had sold without knowledge of somebody living in
Correct.
the property,
At Old Augusta Road was the only Old Augusta
and
Road
the
property.
motion would be to resell that, put that on the market again.
For a second. Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
And my last little piece of news is, as you know, Derek came before us at the last select board meeting talking about monitors, heart monitors, and you said order a bunch of them. Since that time, we did a little bit more research. And those monitors are as you can tell, very, very expensive, about 30 grand each. And we need 3 of them. And then he mentioned the Lucas device, which is the one that does the compressions for you. So we called Stryker, where we get this, all of the equipment from. And I kept thinking in my head from whence I came, I know we didn't do it exactly like this. They have a lease program. And we looked into their lease program for all of our monitors to equip all of the ambulance plus the extra one that we have. Plus the 3 Lucas devices and the equipment that goes with it. We could lease that equipment for $31,000 a year. So if we were to take out what we pay for the maintenance agreements, which is included in this, and this would mean that we get their top of the line, most up to date, we get all of the updates plus the maintenance agreements, all included. If something breaks down, they bring us a new one, fix the old, fix one or leave it with us, however they do it. For the technically $31,052.59. But it actually turns out that there's $8,300 worth of maintenance agreements that go with that equipment. So it would be $22,752. And if you take out the 12 grand that no matter what, we put away for monitors every year to try to save for the monitors, the additional cost would be $10,752 a year. And we get it all. We don't have to wait till next year to buy a Lucas device. And it keeps the equipment so that we're not using 2 12-year-old heart monitors. So it's always current. I think personally, I think that's the way to go. It's a little bit different than anything we've ever done in the past. We've always thought we should buy the product. But the problem is that we're buying products that are technology outdates in 3 to 5 years. So I think this is the way to go, versus buying this equipment, keeping it for 10 years past its useful life, well past its useful life, and then getting stuck in the situation that we're in now, where you've got to replace 2 in 2 years to a tune of $40,000. It just, I think that's the way to go. What I'd like to do is ask the budget committee to come in at our next meeting and go over that with them, if you would not mind. But I think it's worth exploring, and I think it's going to provide us with state-of-the-art equipment.
I think it's a good idea to bring in the budget committee. It evens out the cash flow,
It definitely
which is a
evens
good
out the
thing.
cash flow.
Makes it more predictable.
It does.
Having the maintenance included in the contract and the ability to replace the equipment as it's improved, instead of waiting 12 years and trying to sell it at what, zilch? You get very little for the use.
So that was part of our issue.
Yeah.
At the last meeting, Derek came, and if you'll recall, we were anticipating getting a trade-in value of that. That trade-in value from the time it was quoted till the time we accepted dropped to like a third of what the original trade-in was. And that's what triggered this. I just don't remember having to do, like, and the question was asked well, and he's like, it just doesn't happen a lot in Maine, that people don't take advantage. He goes, this is a very popular program throughout the United States. But I can't think of one time I've been asked about that. And Derek got a little upset because he's like, he didn't tell me about it. That wasn't an option that I was given. But I think it's a good option, and it does keep our items up to date.
So what would be the net cost again on the?
So if you were to take out the cost of what is typically we put in the operating budget for the maintenance of this equipment, it comes out, if you take the 12,000 that we put in every year for capital, it's an additional $10,752 a year. And next year in the budget, we would be budgeting in capital, we'd have to budget 40,000 just for one. And we'd get 4 years of use out of equipment, some we don't even have, for what we would pay for one unit. So it makes sense to me to do it that way. And it's just that the technology's outpacing our ability to purchase the new technology every time. So we're essentially renting it, not owning it.
Do you need a motion or just,
I thought we would just
yeah?
have
budget committee?
the committee come in the next meeting, and then if they said that was okay, we have money in the capital to do this year, and then we would put it in, we could put it either in the capital or in the operating.
Operating.
I prefer to put it in the operating. That's all I have. I'm sorry, I was long-winded
All right.
tonight.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar? And I have a second. Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay. New business, number 10. Do you have anything that they'd like to bring up under new business?
The only thing that I have is that I think we need to have, schedule a workshop for maybe the first meeting in September to talk about what to do with the proceeds from Friendship Street School. Because if we wanted to do special projects with that, that would give us time, and it could be on a ballot in November to have the public approve the expenditures.
That includes not just the sale proceeds, it also includes money we budgeted to maintain the school for the current fiscal year too, doesn't it?
Well, there was only
There's
a
money
couple
in it.
thousand. There's a capital fund that we
Somewhere.
would have to reappropriate, which I'm hoping people would give the blessing to purchase a playground equipment for either one or several playground sites throughout the community, since Friendship Street School was the existing playground. And we've had suggestions of Pine Street Landing here at the town office, one at the baseball fields, and possibly one at 80 Gray. And the idea with the town office being that there are bathrooms that are open during the day when, you know, not for older kids, but more for the toddlers that come with their parents. So that way they don't have to use a porta potty.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, old business, 11.1, update on priorities.
So I took a lot of your comments from the last meeting we had on priorities, and I have it halfway done. And then my daughter went into labor and I left the office, and I just returned today, so I don't have that ready for you. But at the next meeting, I will have a full priority schedule for you. I did get a little bit of feedback too from the staff of a couple more items to include, so I'm going to include those on that. And then we can assign people. Was the color coding good for you, or would you prefer it to be set up? Do you want to set up in a like short-term, long-term? Would you like it grouped better, as in, I was thinking about that. It's kind of all over the place, like short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. Do you think grouping it like that would be better, or by department?
How about both? By department, short, medium, and long, and for each department, we know,
Okay.
is that a bad idea?
No, Bob,
Sorry.
it's not labor intensive at all. No, I can do that. That's the update.
Okay. Well, the agenda items for next meeting.
Are we gonna meet with the water committee at some point to talk about their issues?
Well, we were going to talk about that at the next water committee meeting.
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna meet with them. Stop and that's fine.
We can either do that, or we could ask two of you to come to the water committee meeting.
Whatever floats their boat.
Okay. Would you like to be one of those people that comes?
Sure.
Okay. Do I have another volunteer?
Sure. Since I started this mess.
Okay. Captain and Bob, okay. And the only other thing is, do the two people who are interviewing candidates for boards and committees, do you want to continue to do that, or would you like to hand that off to other people?
We usually, when the new year, we
We didn't
usually,
do that at the last meeting.
right, we get all new. We'll take turns.
It was Bob and Will before.
I'm happy to keep doing it if Will is, but if it's not, then I think we ought to hand it off.
I don't mind switching with somebody if you want to.
You both don't have to switch. I'm just saying. If Will has had enough of it, he did, normally you switch off.
Bob, I join you in that endeavor for this next year.
If that's okay with everybody else, that's
Yeah,
fine.
right. I get
Is that
too
okay?
much on my plate now.
We have our afternoons free quite often, so,
Usually.
yeah.
We meet at the Narrows, go over,
Hey, yeah,
make that a daily meeting.
we haven't done that yet.
Okay. Does Ruben have anything else that he'd like to bring up? It's been awful quiet.
He's probably sending cat pictures out.
No, he was just talking about the EMS. The support model isn't uncommon for patient interfacing equipment. Just talking about the good stuff for the.
Okay. All right, then I guess we've gone over all of our agenda items. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Then moved and seconded to adjourn.